Renters can't afford a home. Well, at least that's what they fear. The wealthy are cashing out, and they're cashing out crazy fast. And there are over 1 million people who owe $200,000 or more in student loans. And that's on the federal side. We're not talking about state loans either. This is current events for July 29th, 2024. This is the foundation. I am Sot L, seeker of truth L, speaker of truth L, and let's jump into these current events. Apologize for being gone for a while. The site is finished being updated. Welcome to thefoundation.com. Please feel free to sign up for the email list right here. Primary email. You see it. We have a bunch of information, knowledge. There's all our offerings from our Trust series. If you want to obtain a passport and no social, if you're new to the Trust, you got the primer. These are documents. You want to read those. And then you can go in the Trust series, part 1, part 2, part 3. There's a link in the description if you just want to jump straight to the Trustee training. That is completely up to you. Also, real quick, we have a bunch of documents. We saw these documents in various places on the internet being charged for, so we offer them available here for free. Not all of these are necessarily a part of what we talk about and what we get into here at the foundation, but as I said, it's stuff that we saw being charged for. All of this stuff right here is free. You can just grab it and go. You don't have to pay anything. We also offer our most comprehensive trustee training ever offered here at the foundation, and I would say this is the most comprehensive trustee training available, period. We're going to teach you how to administer trust, how to teach your heirs your legacy, how to administer trust. It's a one-time deal. You don't have to come back to us for extra trust. You're going to know how to craft them yourselves. This is a learn at your own pace type of dance. There's really no tests, things of that nature, but there's a lot of assistance if you get into one of our trainings. We're doing a dance right now, so link in the description. You can do your dance with us. If you are ever interested in starting a business, here you go. This is the course for you. It is extensive. From writing a business plan to the functions and aspects of businesses, to setting up your own business, establishing the EIN, the federal requirements, state requirements, everything packed up deliciously for you. Learn at your own pace, as always. And finally, we have the Foundation magazine. It's some of the most luxurious dances. Ooh, we need to do some more updates on the site. Sorry about that, y'all, but this button right here is live. You just can't see it. It's kind of weird. So this is right here, the digital edition. Sign up. We got a print magazine edition as well. Link in the description. And let's dance with these current events. Right off the top, more than half of American renters who want to buy a home fear they'll never afford one. This is straight off of CNN Business, popped off today. The dream of home ownership feels out of reach for many American families. The vast majority, 86% of current renters in the United States, say they would like to buy a home but can't afford one. This is according to a CNN poll conducted by SSRS, released Monday. That's today, y'all. Among those same renters who can't afford to buy a home right now, 54% think it's unlikely they'll ever be able to. The findings underscore the damage done by the 1-2 punch of surging home prices and elevated mortgage rates, creating an affordability crisis. And given that home ownership is the ticket to wealth generation in America, that pessimism exacerbates the risk that the divide between the haves and the have-nots, will grow. Younger people especially are having trouble buying a home right now. The poll found that 90% of renters younger than 45 say they'd like to buy but can't afford it, compared with 79% of those aged 45 and above. Not surprisingly, younger Americans are more hopeful that situation will change. Most adults, 53% younger than 45, who want to buy but can't afford, believe it's at least somewhat likely they'll eventually be able to buy a home. That's compared to just 32% of those 45 or older. Home ownership seems impossible. On top of that, you have this. CNBC homeowners insurance premiums rose 21% last year. Climate change is partly to blame. And, there's certain regions that are being flooded. Other regions are getting a lot of fires. Lots of claims going with home ownership. I recently, well, not too recently now, had a house fire in one of my properties. It's going down. Consumers preparing to renew their homeowners insurance policy may experience some unexpected sticker shock. Between May 2022 and May 2023, home insurance prices rose an average of 21% at renewal time. This is according to Policy Genius. A rise in catastrophic severe weather events contributed to this jump, experts say, and the rate of price increases is not expected to slow. As insurers face higher costs, they pass those along to consumers in the form of pricier premiums. However, insurers don't share data on individual homeowners' premiums and risks, so it's difficult to calculate just how climate risk is factored into the price of policies. We're going to see this, things are getting more expensive. It's just not goods and services that are limited to, hey, I want to get some food delivered. I want to buy a new TV. It's not just that. Insurance rates, property insurance rates. We got banks are bracing for consumers to stop paying off their credit cards. You guys hear about this? This is out of, I think it's out of, Reuters. I had to do the dance over here, though. But with interest rates sitting at more than two-decade highs and inflation continuing to bear down on consumers, big banks are preparing to face more risk from their lending practices. In the second quarter, J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Citigroup, and Wells Fargo all raised their provisions for credit losses from the prior quarter. These provisions are the money that financial institutions set aside to cover any potential losses from the credit risk, including delinquent or bad debt and lending like commercial real estate loans. Yeah, they better get ready for those commercial real estate loans. JP Morgan has $3.05 billion. Bank of America has $1.5 billion. Citi has $21.8 billion. This is more than tripling its credit reserve build from the prior quarter, and Wells has provisions of $1.24 billion. I wonder what Citi's exposure is. Maybe there's a reason why they, there's a post of one of their branches. Moving forward, Armani posts single-digit sales drop in first half. Italian fashion house Giorgio Armani managed to keep its operating profit steady last year and grow net sales by 6% at constant currencies, despite a single-digit slowdown in revenues in the second half, which continued this year. The weakening in sales observed through the first 6 months of 2024 reflects, quote, an adjustment within the luxury market, especially in the Asia ex-Japan region and the more accessible segment of the offer, end quote. Listen, the wealthy are feeling the pinch, they are. And you can look into this, the luxury car market, the hypercar market, the supercar market, it's collapsing. People paid like $2 million for a car last year. The car is worth $1 million, if that, this year. Check into it. I might be crazy. You never know what I'm saying is true or not. But I'm going to say this. The wealthy are feeling this pinch with regards to inflation as well, y'all. Please believe it. Hedge funds sell stocks at the fastest pace in 5 months. Hedge funds sold single stocks at the fastest pace of 5 months in the week of May 10th, Goldman Sachs said in a client letter ahead of U.S. inflation figures that could determine global central banks' next move. Sellers also outweighed buyers of global equities for the first time in 4 weeks, the Goldman Sachs prime brokerage note, which tracks hedge fund activity, showed. This included traders that unwound long positions, which speculate that the price of an asset will rise, and those that added short positions, which bet on the fall in the market. So they shorten the market, y'all. What does that mean? And they're selling, they're cashing out. They're cashing out. Let's just move on. CNBC, 1 million people now owe more than $200,000 in federal student loans. This is just federal loans. In the second quarter, of 2024, 2.4 million borrowers carried a federal student loan balance between 100,000 and 200,000. This is up from 1.8 million people who owed that much in the same period during 2017. Meanwhile, 1 million people had a federal student loan balance of more than 200,000. This is up from 600,000 individuals. I'm sure that's from 2017. That's almost, man, that is triple. Is that triple? That's a little more than triple, man. Wayne Johnson, who served as chief operating officer of the Office of Federal Student Aid from 2017 until 2019, tells CNBC he saw some eye-popping balances during his first time at the education department. Quote, there are quite a number of people who owe federal government over $2 million in federal student loans. How do you gonna owe over $2 million in loans, man? This is getting bad. This is Yahoo Finance, but I think this is popped off of Reuters as well. I usually only go to these spots when Reuters try to lock me out. Why regional banks are now willing to take billions in losses, man. More U.S. regional banks are taking a step that was unthinkable more than a year ago in the aftermath of the Silicon Valley Bank failure, selling underwater bonds at a loss. Wow. The difference this time around is that regional banks aren't selling lower yielding securities to pay depositors. Instead, they are preparing for interest rate cuts from the Federal Reserve. Sure. You got to be careful what these guys say. Some cash from these sales is being used to buy new bonds that lenders hope will perform well as rates come down in the coming months or years. So they're going to sell bonds at a loss and then go buy new bonds at these heights. Okay. Yep. Sounds like a plan that's going to win. Meanwhile, fast food chains battle for low-income diners with summer value meals. If fast food is hurting, Subway started phasing out its $5 footlong sandwiches a decade ago, but these days other fast food chains have revived the $5 price point, hoping to win over customers who have cut back their spending. It's even fast food. Fast food is feeling it. Something's up with the U.S. economy due to high-profile stock sales. This was back in March, y'all. This was back in March. These people know stuff. They know stuff. U.S. yield curve nears flip with the jury out on recession signal. So when the yield curve, I think, what is it? I want to say it's the 5-year note. It might be I think it's the 5-year note, man. Look, obviously I'm not a finance guy. You know, don't quote me, but I think there's a 5-year note and a 10-year note, or maybe it's a 2-year note, but I know it's a 10-year note. Anyways, the yield flip means like you're getting paid more on the short-term note than you are on the long-term note, which is not what's up. Now, I could be wrong. Y'all leave a comment if I'm crazy. I love to be corrected. But, you know, generally, historically, that yield curve inversion is what what is referred to, and from what I understand, it signals a depression. The longest and deepest U.S. Treasury yield curve inversion in history, a key bond market signal of an upcoming recession, could be nearing its end. So when it goes back to normal, that's when the recession or depression hits. I mean, I study history. I could be confusing this with the Smurf episode from when I was a child. So, you know, don't quote me on this. I could be crazy. While an inverted curve has typically preceded a recession, this time there's debate about the predictive power of the curve. Man, they don't. With the optimism that the U.S. could escape prolonged economic pain, some indicators in the recent weeks have pointed to a slowdown, but growth remains strong thanks to a resilient labor market. Yeah, okay. So they're debating, historically this means recession or depression, but this time it's different. This is when you got to watch out, y'all. Quote, I'm not looking at it as a recessionary as of now. I think it's very different. I think it's a very different time, end quote. You got to watch out when these fools say it's different. I'm serious. It's something to pay attention to. These guys, man, everybody thinks they're different. Everybody's special until they're not. McDonald's sales fall globally for first time in more than 3 years. Globally. This is not just restricted to the United States, to North America and South America, or just specifically, over here on this side of the Atlantic. What this is affecting is all countries. And I would specifically say all Western countries. NATO countries. It's going down. It's absolutely happening. McDonald's reported a surprise drop in sales worldwide today, its first decline in 13 quarters. As deal-seeking consumers shy away from higher-priced menu items, including Big Macs, persistent inflation has forced lower-income consumers to shift to more affordable food options at home. People are making meals at home because what you pay at McDonald's for, a family of 4, you could probably get 5 meals if you go to the store and buy the, ingredients. And probably like 5 different meals. People understand that, and we never forgot. We just, it wasn't a problem. That has led fast food chains such as McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, and Taco Bell to lean on value meals to spark customer traffic. McDonald's shares were down 15%. If you shorted McDonald's, you made money. Quote, even though things are soft now. That's how they talk. Even though things are soft now, things meaning traffic, they should be getting better in the back half of the year with better value on the menu. This is end quote. This is Brian Mulberry, client portfolio manager at Zacks Investment Management. So it's slow now. It's going to get better. We'll see if it's going to get better. Last but not least, AT&T and other phone companies sued over stolen nude images. Could face liability after court ruling. Did y'all hear about this? Y'all sending them images, them pictures over the phones and stuff. You texting? Wireless providers, including T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon, have faced a string of lawsuits in recent years from women who allege retail employees stole intimate images or videos from their phones while helping them in the store data transfers. Y'all get it? The cases are routinely dismissed when the companies argue they weren't aware of the staffers' actions and aren't liable because the employees were acting outside the scope of their duties, which is kind of true, but you can't just keep saying that. You got to institute a policy that especially if your company is brought to court, you have to institute a policy that maybe doesn't stop that, but inhibits it as well as, highly penalizes it. And you're looking for it. You got to change stuff in your company, basically. You can't just keep operating the same way and the same things happen. So I think, that might be what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Now the companies, not just the store workers, could face liability in future litigation, which could lead them to address the hiring, training, and data safety practices that victims argue led to the violations. See, they didn't do anything, so they might be liable. Bottom line is, we got to pay attention to our privacy, our digital security, all that stuff. I think, me personally, I think it's important. We did several issues, the Foundation magazine, where we spoke on digital privacy and how to protect yourself digitally from, your laptop to your phone, things of that nature. We're going kind of deep. Even though the issues were already printed, you can always order back issues of the Foundation magazine. Just hit up support at welcometothefoundation.com and they will take absolute care of you. And with that being said, that's it for current events. I appreciate y'all. I trust y'all learned something. Y'all enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night. It's very important. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow on current events. Peace, y'all.